Just bring it up. How many? Yeah.
Doing the work, so.
Good evening. Welcome to the East Tampa CAC, East Tampa CRA redevelopment meeting. This is our April monthly meeting, and we're grateful that you are all here tonight. Will we please stand for a moment of silence and our Pledge of Allegiance? In our thoughts, we remember those service members that have been deployed to the Middle East, that God would keep them safe and guard the hearts and minds of their families as they support them from a distance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may be seated. Our roll call: Ms. Gaines, Ms. Hetland, Ms. Martinez, Colonel Carrington, Mr. DeLeosa,
Present.
Ms. Colbert, Ms. Corum, Ms. Winters, Ms. White, Ms. Tate, Ms. DeLeosa. Mr. Costa. I need some sleep. Mr. Costa.
Present.
And Jeffrey Johnson. We have quorum, and the time is 6:09 p.m. At this time, we'll have public comments. We will give you 3 minutes. Please state your name, and you're able to share whatever you desire. If Mr. McCray could, or Mr. Nunez, assist those who are for public comment. I don't see a podium station for them. Happy belated birthday, Miss Honey. Thank you for being our community queen. So we definitely want to publicly acknowledge you. Happy belated birthday. She is our past CAC chair. She did 2 years. And so we're grateful for your leadership in the community and want to definitely publicly celebrate you. So good to see you tonight. So if you will come to the microphone, you have 3 minutes.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I want to reflect pretty much what you just laid out in prayer, and hopefully those service individuals will utilize good moral common sense. We are 1 year away before we have to seek a new election for a mayor, right around the corner. And this CAC and the members of East Tampa have been consistently asking for the very same thing. You could read the comprehensive plan, the strategic plan. I don't know how much money was spent with those consultants talking to community members and saying, what is the desire of your community? And yet we see very, very little accomplished. And with just 1 year out before we are now looking at a new election, council members are running, people are asking us to regurgitate that all over again. It is almost an insult that the community and this community has to say the same thing over and over. It takes very clear eyes to see that A lot of rehab still need to be completed in this neighborhood. Very clear eyes that we have a very high unemployment in this community. Very clear eyes that the will of the people is not being addressed. And so we're hoping that you all muster up the courage and look at what the full strategic action plan laid out for the entire community, not take it off in bites and pieces, because we do see development is very high in some areas, and yet the African community, East Tampa, the pie chart of this CAC is being forgotten. I could look at the blue store, the orange and blue store on 22nd Street and Lake. It was purchased maybe 5 years ago, has not been touched. And so I would say, don't waste your time continuing to move items that is not going to be a benefit to the community. And I can assure you that this next election is going to be hot and heated, because the community cannot simply be crapped upon while others' agenda move forward. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, Allison Hewitt, East Tampa, East Tampa resident and business owner. For the items in the agenda, civic engagement, I want to thank Ms. Janelle. You are extremely active. You come to places that historically they did not attend. What's unfortunate is civic engagement and community engagement are different, and we need additional community engagement in a way that is more engaging to the community. As we have seen, it has been put on our public records. We have sent surveys out and only had 4 people respond or 10 people respond. I think a lot of that is, as Mr. Jeffrey Johnson has said at the CRA meeting, that we come the community before City Council, the CAC, over and over and over with the same things, and nothing moves. So again, I thank you for what you do. I just wish there was more community engagement in a way that was more effective, especially in East Tampa, which is different. The next thing is the budget on my list. I just want to say that this budget presented to you was one of the most clear and articulated budgets I've seen in years. Thank you, Mr. Nunez, for helping that happen. I just have 3 areas of concern. One of them is the neighborhood infrastructure improvements. As we are trying to move forward in these last years, there will be some smaller developments in our community, and drainage and infrastructure is sometimes puts that project out of the reach for budgeting, and infrastructure dollars would be helpful. So some of the folks who are coming forward for their smaller developments, to be able to help them be able to stay within budget to create either affordable housing or commercial that are owned by property owners in East Tampa. The next thing is the East Tampa Continuous Improvement Project. I just would like more transparency about what has that fund been used for, or has it just been sitting there as a placeholder for money? And so I'd like some clarity on that. And then I'd like to just share that the transfers from the commercial grants program, I don't really have a challenge with that, because if you watch the matrix of the tracking form for commercial grants, you have a long list of projects, hardly any of them funded. It is very difficult to get through the process of the commercial grant. They say to some people that apply that they need to show all of their money up front before they even get before the CAC or the CRA. That is, they are not consistent when, with business owners who are going for the commercial grant. And so since that money has sat there for years and it can be repurposed to do something with the Gator building, I do not have a problem with that. I just also want to make sure that as we are watching the East Tampa project tracker and commercial grants tracker, that you pay attention that things are not moving. They're just sitting for years. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Valerie Bullock, Ponce Leon Collegiate Projects. Before I get started on East Tampa, I would just like to thank Dr. Jeffrey Johnson. Not only did he serve in the military, but he's serving in the community also. And he walks in integrity. And I wish it was some kind of way he could get paid to work for the city or the CRA because he's really shining. He invited me to the Diana Gardens. They've been after me about a year to go on a tour somewhere. He invited me over there. And I must say, I was very surprised, very surprised. They are in Hillsborough County behind Robles Elementary School, but the apartments, they are luxurious. They really are. The doors, everything. There's nothing thrown together like Domain Homes do. And they didn't get the lot for free. Let's put that in there. Okay, back to East Tampa. I think the CRA, I don't know how we can do it, probably with community engagement, knocking on doors. That's what I do. I knock on doors. Come out and do a meet and greet. I notice people go to Ybor Heights, they go this place, that place, but they don't come to Jackson Heights and Belmont Heights. And too many times we get lost behind. And another thing I want to address is just one thing because it's several more. But the main thing I want to address is the disparity in the grants and the loans. Someone that's moving in the area new, they get $100,000. They get a 5-year lien. I've been over here 60-some years. I get $100,000. It comes with a 30-year lien. One is designed to create generational wealth. The other one is designed to address generational debt. And I think that needs to be addressed. Why there's no balance? Why are the scales unbalanced when it comes to the legacy homeowners of East Tampa? And another thing, we got an elderly taxpayer. He's a homeowner. He's been in the city over 70 years. His house, I don't know how code enforcement or the health department and came out and told him to move. From my understanding, the CRA was designed to address the slum and the blight, not just for the business owners, but for the homeowners also. I remember when you used to come to the CRA board and say, hey, I need $10,000. I'm gonna clean up these elderly yards. And you could get it. But now it seems like it's only for people who got money or the new people or business owners. And that needs to be addressed. And another thing, I remember when the roundabouts came up. I didn't think that was a good idea. And we went down to City Hall protesting, but by the time we got back home, they had dug up the streets. All of that to me is irrelevant when it comes to the roundabout city, the art in the middle of it and sidewalk. I meant the sidewalk should have came first.
Miss Bullock, let me ask you a question. You say the senior citizen.
Yes.
He's being displaced from out of his home?
No, his home is in poor shape.
Is in poor shape.
Yeah.
So he needs to be a part of our rehab program.
Yes, and somebody here, why they don't pay me? Why I got to keep going around the town looking?
Well, we
y'all
appreciate you.
Y'all don't have nobody to do that.
So could you get his information and share that with Mr. Nunez?
Yes.
And to see how if he qualifies for the rehab program to get him the assistance that he needs. And he's 90 years old.
Yeah.
Okay.
I get Keela. And another thing, when
we are at time, Ms. Bullock. We got to
you
be
was
fair.
talking, no, back.
No, you had finished all your 3 minutes. I waited. Yeah, that's correct. That's why I wanted to make sure she received that information. So
Good evening.
luckily, Miss Darlene still here too? I mean, so she could take notes on that as well to make sure that support is coming from both ends for that homeowner. Yes, ma'am.
Good evening. So I'm Keela McCaskill. Thank you so much, Ms. Bullock, for sharing that information. You know, it's a challenge for me because I did that. I already checked about owner-occupied rehab, but you all should know the difference between the two. Owner-occupied rehab hits a certain metrics, but when it exceeds that, or if the structure exceeds, the damages exceed that, the replacement program is also available through the city of Tampa. But there's no money for neither one, is what I was told. Code enforcement asked me to contact the city. I did share the scenario. I can give you all the information. I've shared that man's story for the last, I don't know, 2 years, because we've done 4 cleanups at his home with no assistance from the CRA or the city of Tampa. But that's not what I came to talk about. What I want to talk about is that this CRA is going to end very soon. As we know, I don't have to repeat the date. And we have an inexperienced staff, subpar, his poor performance, in my opinion, pardon me, but everybody in the room. So they know, I mean, it's limited staff, limited ability. You guys have done a great job, but in a minute, we're going to have a brand new CRA board. So don't nobody know nothing. It's already moving at a snail's pace. If we continue to allow it, I'm afraid we're going to miss out. So what I want to know is on agenda item number 7 for the CRA on Thursday. It's the beginning opportunity for us to separate some of that, because I don't believe that this staff has the ability to do it. We've been asking for quite some time for a separation between the city and the CRA. Cedric does not have what it takes to do what needs to be done.
So we refrain from using names.
This one over here, just coming on board, doing a great job so far, but I still believe we need a leadership with some type of economic development experience, graduated from the FRA, understands the dynamics, because what you'll find is that people like Mr. Rogers, paid into the TIF 50, 60 years, can't get assistance. Imagine going to the bank and you making deposits for 40, 50 years and there's nothing there for you. And then they threaten you with a lien or threatening you to get out of your home. It doesn't make sense, but that's what the lack of experience does for you. The lack of people that understand how this works. A senior disabled veteran should be at the top of your list to assist, but it's not. It goes whoever is next in line, whoever they favor the most. I don't know how it works. It was working. Beavis does a great job on our occupied rehab program, but they don't have any money. They don't have any money. If they don't know that the process exists, they don't know. So we need somebody that can actually do something strategic, because right now we look like it's a mess. And owner occupied rehab is one of those things that we should have done. I said all that. We need to work on that. Agenda item number 7, I think we do need to begin the separation of the city from the CRA. It's asking that the CRA has their own website, because right now, if you look for what's going on in the CRA, you got to go through all the city mess to get to the CRA. Their own email, their own sites, they need their own staff, their own everything. We want the separation. So email your city council members and request that if you feel the same. I also want to share, because what I've done always, even before I had an organization, was education in the community. Center for Economic Development, we educate. We boots on the ground, which means we do cleanup. So we will raise the awareness of the needs in the community, particularly this community, because it's marginalized. And then we draw the collaborative partners to help me redevelop it. I have a workshop coming up in June. I'll share. You can share with your neighborhoods that you're supposed to represent. You can share with your neighborhoods to invite them out to Salita's house. I'm partnering with them to do this homeownership workshop. And again, I encourage you to write to your city council members, encouraging them to do the separation, because we do need to hire our own staff to do what needs to be done. Experienced, qualified, credentialed people. Thank you.
Ms. Castillo, do you?
Chair to Ms. Tate. She's recognized. That's okay.
I do. I'll leave them on. Thank you.
Is there any more public comment in person? Okay, see. There are CAC members that are online. If you're a CAC member that is virtual, please state your name for roll call purposes.
Carlos Della Osa.
Tonette Gaines.
Thank you so much. We've closed public comment, but we can make some, no, go ahead. We can make some adjustments. Go ahead. Thank you.
Thank you. Ashley Morrow, East Tampa resident. As someone said, I want to echo, you guys are doing work and things are moving. And I've noticed that the Sierra Board, City Council have been responding to the notes and the things that people have brought forward. Whether it's moving some things or enacting some things or getting some things done. We have a town hall coming up that has been voiced and it was wanted, and now Nia Young is bringing the town hall. Janelle has been in and out of almost every other event throughout this community, and I'm pretty sure you've seen a face everywhere in trying to get things done that people want done in the community. It's just that we have to show up and don't get discouraged. and don't take things that we bring to you as criticism all the time. It's just feedback, because in your head, as a community member, sometimes you're frustrated and you feel like nothing's getting done because it's not getting done your way. But sometimes there's ways that things get done so that they can sometimes the staff is looking at it as a whole to see what is the most effective way for things to get done. And it just may not be the way that you think things should get done. So I know you've been waiting, but things are getting done.
Slow.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Ashley. Is there any public comment virtually? Before we go to our presentation, just to make sure that we can have a level of dialogue with the community, we can speak, but there's not back and forth. But I do want to say there is an unaudited budget that we have, so we're not for sure of where we are come Q3 now. But our housing rehab and renovation program this year was $5 million. So there are dollars there for the rehab and renovation program. Please stop in, have persons to come and get applications for that. So that's here. Also realize that each CRA does have a different budget. And in the budget that we're going to talk about tonight, repurposing dollars, nothing was removed from the housing rehab. So that money is still intact. And I think maybe we've spent 1.5 million or so, but I know we have not expended 2.5 million, but we have not expended the budget for this fiscal year. So there's still monies. Ms. Valerie, you say you got to go, if we go around and tell people. All right. So we appreciate your work and you telling people, but there's money there. See staff. And then also when it comes to also, when it comes to the commercial interior and exterior grants, $75,000 for those business owners, those applications do not come to the CAC board. If they give their information to staff, that should move forward. That money is under a line item. Anything over 150 comes to us for review. So if it's under the 150 threshold, 149,999, that should go staff. And if staff is moving slow, then that community member can bring that back to our board and we can evaluate that and see how we can support them. So we do want persons to know that there is money available in the commercial exterior and interior. All right. So if you keep it under that threshold, I'm trying to help you. If you're picking up what I'm putting down, 149,999, that does not have to come to this board. The staff has been directed of how, if you turn in your documents, how to fund those projects. All right. What we've come in contact with, what I've seen, there are a lot of businesses in East Tampa that don't own their properties. So they have to get permission from their landlords, and landlords don't want to take the responsibility of signing those applications for those businesses to get those grants. So there's been a few times that I've seen that happen. So we have to get into the place to where we support ownership, not only home ownership, but also commercial properties, that these businesses are owning their property so they don't have to go through those troubles. All right. So we've had our public comment. That time is closed. I'm excited tonight that we are having our CRA board member, Councilwoman Naya Young, that will come and share with us about her thoughts for East Tampa and talk about our upcoming town hall and anything that she chooses to say. So we yield the floor to you at this time.
Hello? Okay. All right. All official. Yeah. This is, I was like, oh. Well, good evening, everyone. One, I want to start by thanking you all for being here, because we know you do not get paid. And Dr. Johnson, I've heard some great things about you since you've been chair of the board. So thank you as well for just moving things along. So a few things, I know Ashley touched on it a little bit, but I do have a town hall coming up April 20th. It's going to be at Fair Oaks. And I know this was something that, came highly requested from the community, but it was also something that I already said I was going to do prior to being elected, that I would listen to community and try my best to bring the city to the community. So that's something that I was going to do anyway. So I'm just happy that we're moving that along. We already had one in Ybor, so the next one will be East Tampa. The doors are going to open at 6 p.m. And that's because we're going to have some exhibitors that will be there. So we'll have Tico, we'll have Feeding Tampa Bay, Tampa Parks and Rec. There will also be a representative from the Florida Aquarium who may have some things to give away. You didn't hear from me, possibly, I don't know. But it'll be myself, code enforcement, TPD, community engagement, mobility, and CRA. So we will all be, on the panel discussion. And I really want to, again, this is an opportunity for me, as the newest sitting council member, to hear from community. There have been lots of plans and things that have gone forth, but all those were prior to me. And there may be things that have changed since those plans. Priorities may have changed, ideas may have changed. So this is my opportunity to hear from community myself, but again, also to bring the city to the people, because it's not just, I have this idea or something that I want to do. There are sometimes people use the opportunity to say, I've been trying to get in contact with someone for mobility, and this is my issue. And that's an opportunity for you to bring it to their attention right then and there. So that's also part of the intention. One of the things that I'm really working on right now is summer is coming up. So that means we're going to have a lot of children out of school. And I don't know if you all have been seeing on social media, but I'm not trying to be caught anywhere where there's a teen takeover. And so one of the things that I've been working on is really making sure that we have our youth in something this summer, whether they are working, whether they are interning, if they are volunteering, if they're at summer camp. So I know that today, I think actually yesterday, the Parks and Rec applications for summer camp open up, and that you can go to tampa.gov/summer camps, and it'll have information. There's two programs. They have the specialty summer programs, and then there's also it's called rec. And I think you have to have the card? You have to have the card, the rec card. What's it? Yeah, you have to have your rec card, but there is financial assistance available for those who need it if you don't have a rec card. I've also just been in passing and talking with people. If there's any organizations or businesses that are looking for a student or two, or if you have an internship opportunity available or volunteer opportunity available, please let me know so that I can make sure and get that information out to the community. I just had a meeting yesterday with someone from the Tampa Bay Suns, and they have it's not paid, but they have internships and volunteers opportunity this summer, and you get academic credits with the sponsorship. So it's pretty much like exposing children, exposing our youth to being in the sports field and all that comes with, whether it be marketing, asset management, customer service, HR, all those different things. So if you know of anyone, if they're looking for one or two students, please let me know, because I want to make sure that we have our students in something, somewhere this summer. We did think the council did approve the summer youth program. We're up to for 70 students. So that has been very exciting. I'm glad that we were able to do that. And also, there was one more thing. I spoke with the Tampa Bay Suns. I said the city of Tampa registration is open. We talked about the exhibitors. I think that's it. That's my biggest thing.
I would say, Councilwoman, thank you so much for your time.
Yeah.
Let's clap for, hold on one second. Thank you.
I'm putting this down.
We're going to allow our CAC members to ask you a question, and then the public, they will reserve their time for a town hall meeting. I will say this is the first year that it is not in our budget for us to have the summer youth hires. That was a very big thing for us in East Tampa, and Ms. Connie, and we respect her word, did champion this greatly, that they would not be subject to just picking up paper, but they can work in different departments around city government. But because of some of the new changes in the CRA, that was removed out. So you're saying the summer program has how many slots?
70. And so originally it was 40.
But that's open to
48.
all kids in the city of Tampa.
I believe so. For this year, it is open to all students. Yeah, I think so.
But that's not funded through the CRA.
No, that's
through
through, yeah, it's through the city of Tampa.
Yeah,
It's through the
yeah.
city of Tampa. Because I think with CRA, because they can't fund like programs anymore. And so that's why it's coming through the city.
I just think we have to be creative and innovative. There has to be a way in the future to be able to have money set aside for this workforce initiative. I don't know how. I think everything is in the language and how we write it up. I know for Ybor, for them to have a clean team is for the beautification. And beautification can be more than just picking up paper. So maybe we can be creative around beautification of academics or something like that for the purpose of this. So I'll be interested to do some research through what Statute 163 will allow for us to do. But I think that would be an opportunity for more workforce development for our kids in East Tampa. So we'll start with our vice chair and then we'll go around. If you'll just limit to one comment for the sake of time, and then we will give Councilwoman any final comments.
I believe it's gonna be along the same lines as your comments. So again, just taking time out to hear us out. Thank you for your work and welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Say.
Yes, thank you for your work and welcome aboard. My interest, just as Sister Connie, who served as chair, I served as chair after she did. That is our main focus, trying to get our children off the streets, our children.
Absolutely.
She started the program, and I was supporting our children.
Absolutely.
Who are being arrested, they're going to jail, they're just everything going on. Some of them aged out of a red card to the red center. But however, our children, all I can say is our children.
I understand.
You say 40 kids?
70. It went from 48 to 70.
I'm talking.
So that's one. So that's one program. And then there's another one that's for high school students. And then there's one specifically for college students.
For 72 students. Was it 72 students?
Yes, how many was it?
We asked for 74, but they mustered up. They came from 36 to 70, so.
And then that was approved. So we have to 70. But I hear you. I've worked as someone that worked with children. I work with most of all the children that I worked with over my 8 years. I was working in a nonprofit came from Robles Park. So I've worked with a lot. I've worked with students from elementary all the way to high school and after. So I work with a lot of children. And so that's why one of my big focuses for this summer is I want to make sure that we have as many opportunities for students as possible, because we know everybody's not going to go to the rec center. So, and I've spoken with some students and they're like, we don't want to do that. We want jobs. We want to make money. And that, I mean, and rightfully so. They're 17, 18 years old. They want to be able to go and do the things that they want to do. So let's find them some jobs. So again, if you know anybody that is looking for students will take, someone 18, 19 years old, let me know so I can pass it out to the community. And that's how we work together and collaboratively.
This one.
What's the location of the townhome?
Fair Oaks.
Yeah.
Yep, it's gonna be at Fair Oaks. Doors open at 6, and then we'll start right at 6:30. It'll be 6:30 to 8.
Okay, so yes, as always, it's good to see you out here. Thank you for engaging us. It's good to always see in the community. I have several questions.
Okay.
Just one. I have several questions.
Oh God.
Yes, I lead community. So just as a note to our fearless chair, I'm trying to get out of here at 8 o'clock before the rapture, apocalypse, and illumination. What's going to happen?
Lord have mercy.
Thank you.
And the Kappa League is awesome. They are some awesome young men. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. I love it.
Thank you. Always. Always nice to see you. I don't really have anything.
Okay.
Important to the town hall to in particularly speak to Parks and Rec.
They will be there.
In a very long time.
That will be the opportunity. Yes, it will.
We're pretty.
Of course.
Thank you for being here tonight. Thank you for making time, listening as always, and thank you for always being our community. I think I've seen you 3 times now. It's gonna time.
It's good to see you. That's it. Ma'am, do you have a question?
Any of our CAC members online would like to address CRA Board Member Young?
Yes, good evening, Councilwoman. No questions for me, just simply congratulations on your election and look forward to working with you, ma'am.
Thank you. Is that Carlos?
Good
Good
evening,
evening.
Counselor. My name is Janine Quarles-Atkins. I'm a resident in your district. I'm also a program manager with Tampa's Black History Museum. Similarly, I don't have any particular questions. A thought I have had in just, going to different things and hearing all your awesome plans for the district as a transplant here. Just wanting to, have as much direction, as much guidance as possible about how to really contribute time and talent to the East Tampa community. And again, wanting to be on the right side of the program developments, the community development. So just wanted to introduce myself and continue to offer myself as a resource at the grassroots level. So
Okay. And then do you have our contact information, our office contact
I
information?
believe so. I met your
Okay.
assistant at the National Coalition of 100 Black Women. And I know that Mr. Hearns, Fred Hearns, has been in touch. I know over at the Black History Museum, particularly, we're trying to also do some programming that would benefit all young people, and especially, people in the neighborhood we immediately serve. But with me, being in the CAC, I'm always thinking about the community I'm currently part of, plan to be part of for the long term. So
Okay.
hopefully can be in touch at some point.
Yeah, please just either call or email just so we can set up maybe like 30 minutes just so we can
Okay.
talk one-on-one. You can tell me a little bit more.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
This is Tonette Gaines, and I just want to say
Hey.
thank you for thank you for being there tonight. And I was going to ask about if there's going to be any flyers or any information regarding the townhome. If so, if you could just email me. You do have the
Okay.
neighborhood association information for me. So thank
Yes.
you again.
Okay. I will do. Something else? And again, if anybody knows anyone, organization, business, and they're looking for a student, please let me know so we can get it out into the community because there are a lot of students and want to be sure that they have something to do this summer. Activities, volunteering, anything. Okay. Just want to make sure we put that out there. All right. That's it.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. At this time, we'd like to call for the approval of the March 3rd, 2026 meeting minutes. We have a motion and we have a second. All in favor by saying aye. Opposed?
Ms. White and
Aye.
Opposed? Same sound. Thank you so much. Item number 6 on our agenda, presentations and discussions. Our first agenda presenter, she said, and I quote, she only needs 2 minutes. Did you not? And so we're going to put that timer on. She said she only needs 2 minutes. And she has the bug where them fans at. So she has some fans here. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Where them fans at? Listen, we need something to flick it. We got to. Felix, you say you know how to do the dance? You know how to do boots on the ground? You do? Oh, we'll have to teach you. All right. We have to teach you. All right, Miss McGregor.
Can everyone online hear me okay?
She really was putting you on 2 minutes.
Yes.
He like, come on, Ebony. We
I know, right?
You know,
Look, I know you longer than that, right?
First and foremost, thank you, Chair and CAC members, for inviting me here to be here with you tonight. Thank you, public, for coming out and conducting your civic engagement, because that's what it's all about. It's not just one person, it's everybody coming together and performing their own level of civic engagement to inform and engage everyone and meet everybody on the level that they're at. So I was invited here today to just give a quick overview of the city's community engagement efforts. First, for those who may not know me, my name is Janelle McGregor. I'm the Director of Community Engagement and Partnerships for the City of Tampa. I've been with the city organization for coming up on 22 years. I started my career while I was at University of South Florida at the Tampa Police Department. Way before the District 3 substation was built, it was housed inside of Lee Davis, and that's where I started my career as a receptionist. And it was at that moment I knew that I wanted to be more involved in the community, whether that meant working for the city or just giving back however I could. And that's when I met so many of the familiar faces I know here tonight. Him, and Miss Connie. Well, I went to school with Miss Connie kids, but hi, you know, it's Jeanette. I'll keep it, you know, everybody family to me. But, you know, we all come together, and that's what's so great about Tampa. It's like 2 degrees of separation. We all know somebody. We all know what they're passionate about. We all know what their needs are. And when I took this position after Mayor Castor became the mayor, I unapologetically shared with her that that's where I wanted my focus to be. I wanted my focus to be with the hard to reach communities. I wanted to be able to speak openly about what the needs are, because oftentimes those perspectives are not at the table, and that voice is not heard when policy is being made, when projects are being shaped. And thankfully, she's allowed me to be that voice. And with that comes opportunities to think outside of the box. Just like Ms. Bullock mentioned, door knocking. Door knocking was one of the things that we did when the Fair Oaks project was getting ready to commence. We went out, we wanted to make sure that everybody knew that these big trucks are gonna be coming in the neighborhood. So don't leave your garbage can out because your trash might not get picked up. And we didn't want to simply rely on an email, as so many of us do today. We wanted to make sure I have that face-to-face contact. But when you have that face-to-face contact, you may learn something else. You may learn that that individual has another need, or they want to be connected with another resource. And that's really how relationships are built. So being here tonight means a lot to me. I took some notes that, of course, I'll put some action to, because working for the city, that's what I believe it's about as well. I'm a millennial, so yes, I understand. Sometimes things move slowly, and I've had to learn as well that that's just the wheels of government. But I can reassure everybody here that we're all working hard. We're all trying to make those changes and loosen those wheels up so that we can move as efficiently and effectively as possible. With workforce, I'm so glad that Councilwoman Young had an opportunity to mention all of the work that you all championed to get our number of bodies increased for the workforce program. Dr. Johnson, I heard you when you said, you asked those questions about, you know, what's that candidate pool going to be made up with? And Sister Connie Burton and I have had these conversations as well. It comes down to, like you said, strategy and knowing how we outreach to the community to ensure that although it's open to everyone to apply, we're focused on those hard to reach areas. We're focused on having those opportunities where we can reach the individuals who we want to see reflected in that candidate pool. And I hope to also have 2 more interns in my office. I had 2 last year, and we're looking forward to that again. And we're continuing to ask our city departments to also get on board with interns as well. Because although we have over 300 or so people who have applied, we know we have limited slots. So we want to make sure that those are opportunities where those students can thrive, can learn, and maybe even one day they'll be the next city employee. that'll be standing in front of you, giving some information. What my department does in a nutshell is just we serve as a support system for all the other city departments as well as the CRA. So when there's a project that's getting ready to commence, or if there's a neighborhood that's having concerns, we will go out, kind of assess those concerns and figure out how to liaise between the right department to get that information the residents need, or to make sure everybody is staying informed. We focus a lot on capital improvement projects, such as Fair Oaks, not only ensuring that residents are informed on what's taking place around them, but then also working with the different companies that have contracted opportunities. We just recently held a Bridges to Business here a couple weeks ago, and I know that the subcontractors we're looking for that were to help with the housing rehab program. So we are a support system in terms of looking for those creative out-of-the-box ways to connect individuals with information, resources, or sometimes just other people. Because I think I have that long-standing relationship with the city, I can nudge people a little harder than sometimes other people can. People hate to see me calling. But my whole goal is for me not to have to get involved. And that's Mayor Castle's goal as well. When you call the city, you don't get the runaround. You get the service that you deserve. You get the answers that you need to be effective in your communities. So my ask of all of you here tonight, and I realize that you all are volunteers, is that you just share information. There's so many different opportunities for information to be shared. And it's easy for you just to miss something. It's easy to overlook an email. It's easy maybe not to see it on the Facebook or Instagram. But if you know that there's a meeting or an event taking place that is going to impact or benefit someone else, just give them a quick reminder. Just shoot them a text, let them know. Because it's together that we're going to make a difference in this city. It's not going to be one person. And it's not going to just be one form of communication either. So that's just my ask, my selfless ask of everyone here tonight is if you see somebody that should have been in this room tonight, ask yourself why they're not here. Did they know? And encourage them to come the next time. Because you never know, that person might need that information to take back to somebody else, or they may need it to go to city council. So that's all I have for you tonight. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
We did. It is.
All right.
That was over 2 minutes, just for the record.
I don't have any comments, Ms. McGregor, Vice Chair.
Thank you for being here. Because I think even just as simple as that conversation was, it's being heard and it has to go through several channels. So we appreciate your commitment to the community. Is there anything else besides sharing? Because I know that we tend to try to do a very good job with our neighborhood associations. Even our new director has been really good about keeping them in our packets and emailing. Is there anything else that we can do to help with just funneling information at all?
Absolutely. Pick a lane.
Okay, got it.
Pick a lane. It's so many different topics out there. Ms. Anderson and I were talking about this. For one person to stay in every lane is not manageable. We have families, we have lives, we have other commitments. So find out one thing that you're passionate about and you know that others are passionate about now, and focus on that area and just stay engaged in that area. And rely on others to feed that information back to you. That's going to be critical.
The state.
Wait. We go way back. That's that high.
Where you were first.
That's right.
So where we at? We no longer will have our neighborhood training and town anymore.
Remember how we used to go there, so bring in everybody, and you would sit there and train the heck out of us.
Yes, ma'am.
With all the chosen, like you would call it the president, and I think you would call it like the assistant president. And they would train us all and share information about our associations and what's not happening, what should be happening, what could be happening.
Yes, ma'am.
And you bring in the mayor and you bring in, you know how you used to do it.
Yeah, we have moved that, now that we have this building here. We moved the neighborhood training here to this building. The next one will be in either August or September. And based on just the feedback, I like surveys. I don't ever want to guess what people need or what they want. I like people to tell me what they need, what they want. So based on the feedback that we got from the surveys that we did last time, we kind of changed the program up so that we can provide our neighborhood leaders skills like emotional intelligence, things we typically don't talk about on a regular, but they impact that neighborhood association because without that level of neighborhood emotional intelligence, you're unable to grow your neighborhood association.
Right.
You become a party of one.
Right.
And so empowering our leaders that way is something else that we have found we need to focus on so that it's not just here's what's happening in the city, but here's how we can invest in you as an individual to grow your neighborhood, to be that leader that you aspire to be.
You'll see some of our family is missing. Some of your associations are in existence. And then you got some brand new ones that the leadership has changed. So they're kind of like out there. Yeah, they're kind of like out there. They don't know what to do, how to do it. And I'm just saying.
And that's another challenge that my office had to overcome as well, realizing that while we are wholeheartedly appreciative of all the work our neighborhood associations do, not everyone is able to be part of an association. So as a city too, we have to ensure that we're reaching those individuals who may not have time to be part of their local organization, or may just have other reasons why. But as a city, we still have to make sure you inform and you have a seat at the table.
Thank you. Ms. White. Anything?
No.
Okay. Ms. Winter. Okay.
For telecommunications, we actually sponsored the events for the association and it was held at HCC. And I have mentioned it before, and hopefully it has got to the right person and we will start up again on that because it's very beneficial for the neighborhood associations. So the majority of them are more active than they are now. But I think if we get back to what it used to be, how we play, how we walk the neighborhood association, how they partner, they learn how to work together, that they were very successful over time. They just have to keep in that state. So congratulations, it started back up and engaged. I think we get more people involved in the community than we have now.
Yes, ma'am. Just for clarity, so the city doesn't have any type of ordinance or management responsibility over the neighborhood association. Every neighborhood association is its own business, and we can't tell you how to run your business. All we can do is we can empower you, give you the tools you need if you're open to accepting them, and the information for everyone to share. So that's why we're always very mindful of the fact that we can't tell an association what to do.
Really?
Because we don't have that. That's not within our purview. That's not within our scope. Because every association, when you go on Sundays, you each have your own business, and you run that business, and we try to support you in those efforts.
Ms. Winters. Colonel.
Nice to meet you. I don't think we've ever met. We haven't met.
So good evening. Thank you. Wonderful presentation. I will follow up with you after this meeting in the sake of time, in the interest of time. I'm just thinking about Belmont Heights, and Belmont Heights represents very densely populated areas. So I just want to see community. So I'll talk to you about some TTPs and maybe ask if you consider being a consultant to the other neighborhood associations. So if you don't have the authority to mandate what community associations do, but you should, maybe just best practices that you can share.
We would love to do that.
Thanks, ma'am.
Open, get these young people involved too. Sometimes you don't want to get the young people involved, but they know how to work, which I call it. They know that Twitter and that Facebook book face and everything other word we call it out here. To speak for my online audience, you know, that thing up on your phone. But yeah, get the young people involved. Like the councilwoman said, she's working very hard for workforce placement, for after school opportunities, summer opportunities. But the neighborhood associations are another great place, and these students are looking for hours for school and other organizations that they're part of. But we gotta embrace them. With them and all their out of the box ideas. You're welcome.
Ms. Martinez.
Yes, thank you always to for everything you do. She's been very helpful. We are patient. But I wanted to give a plug. Aren't you gonna have for the mayor's neighborhood university? Aren't you gonna have city?
Thank you, Mimi. You're gonna have what?
April 25th.
April 25th. So one thing that we started that we changed when I took this position over is we used to do Mayor's Neighborhood University, but it was 8 weeks. And for a person that's working, got a family, that's a commitment. And we left a lot of individuals out from Mayor's Neighborhood University because it was such a rigorous commitment. So what we did was we changed it to a Saturday, one Saturday every month. Okay. And we invite the public in to come and learn about either a different department or learn a new set of skills. We've had community emergency response training where you come in for 3 days, you get trained on how to respond in an emergency situation or disaster such as a hurricane. But we're taking things using a different approach for the next one on April 25th. And that's to make sure that everybody has an understanding of the roles, responsibilities, and how the city operates. So it's going to be a 3-hour crash course on city government, City Hall 101. And really it's to give all of the individuals who are either aspiring to run for office, as Sister Connie said, within a year, we're going to have a new mayor, several new city council seats will be open. And we just want those individuals to go into the process knowing how we as a city operate, the difference between the administration and the legislative arm or council, what the different departments are responsible for, the budgets that they're responsible for, the bodies they're responsible for, and how, in a nutshell, decisions get made. So thank you, Mimi, for that plug. April 25th, it'll be right here in this room from 9 a.m. to noon. Yeah. And yes, if you please register, because we're gonna have some refreshments.
Yes.
Sorry?
Can you email that to us, please?
Yeah, I have it on
On the
LinkedIn, but I
notes.
will plug it into an email to all this. Yeah.
I'll send you the flyer.
Oh yeah, we send the flyer. Yes.
And another shameless plug. So community engagement. Hey, Bobby. Community engagement has its own newsletter as well. It's called Tampa Time, and we publish once a month. So I will also send something out to you, Mr. Nia, so that you can share with all the members. And I just encourage everyone, if you can, to please sign up for the newsletter, because we try to put a lot of this type of information in there as well.
That's K-I-N-D.
That's how you found out? Okay.
Double plug.
Okay, Tampa Time.
Send me everything.
K-I-N-D, because we spring tides.
I love that.
All right, Miss Headley.
A lot, so anything you have, send it for them.
Miss Headley.
Thank you.
Just thank you. Thank you for being here.
How about online?
You can go. Are there any comments from our CAC members online?
No comments. Thank you for your presentation.
Thank you. Ms.
No
Gaines?
comments. No
Okay.
comments. Thank you for your presentation.
Thank you. Look forward to seeing you soon.
Ms. Quarles?
No comments at this time. Thank you for your presentation.
So thank you for everything you do.
All right, Ms. McGregor,
It's good
thank
to
you
see
so
you.
much. Thank you so much for your presentation, and we look forward to seeing you around.
Thank you. I'm trying to see y'all down on purpose.
All right, all right, all right. For the sake of time, let's keep our agenda moving. I think we should be able to be out of here in the next 30 minutes or so. So at this time, we'll have our FY26 budget reprogramming. We went through this process last year when we reprogrammed about $6 million as we came to quarter three about what will be necessary. So Mr. Nunez has made some suggestions, and we will, if approved, we'll take a vote tonight for the reprogramming of these funds.
Good evening. Hopefully you all read the memo I wrote and reviewed the document I sent, and we can just go through this and we can discuss any recommendations you have to make. So this is the current year's budget, FY26. This white column here is the current budget as it is right now. This yellow column is the proposed reprogram. So the money we're either moving from or adding to a certain budget line. And the final column is the proposed budget that we're hoping to amend and approve tonight. Recommends for approval tonight. The first line item, operations and administration, that's an unfixable category that's created, managed by finance and administration. So there's no change in this one. And it makes up about 2.45% of our budget. Professional services, as we know, we talked about that we have a nice amount of money in these services, and we're gonna save them for the master corridor development, master corridor plan that we're gonna put the RFQ out for. So I've left that untouched as money for those corridor plans. Alley study analysis, we're not able to do it quite yet until the CRP is approved, but that is something I understand that the CAC was interested in pursuing, so I've left that untouched. Beautification, the branding and wayfinding. This part is the design portion of that budget. So I haven't touched it until we finish that project, and then anything that's left over, once that project is over, we'll reappropriate it where it can make the most benefit. This is for the CRP project that we're finishing up. I've left this right now until we finish it up and we've made all payments to consultants, and then perhaps in the next year's fiscal budget, we can repurpose that. I did take a little bit of money out because I knew that it's not going to exceed 250,000. And my goal here is to clean up budget lines that are either holding money that we're not using or just unallocated funds. Because I'm trying to get as much of our funding to the Gator building, which what I understand to be the biggest project that East Tampa is looking forward to push. So I took a small amount of money from these two items here. I closed out these two budget lines that I'm not sure what the purpose originally was, but you see there were small amounts of money, so I'm cleaning that out so we don't have lines of money. Yes.
Just real quick, I understand that we're adjusting the amounts in the yellow column.
Yes.
And that's a deduction or degradation. Are we going to see the where that's applied to? Are you going to explain that to us as well?
Yes,
Okay. I'll patiently wait. Thank you.
Okay. Professional services, I've left that untouched because that with this and promotional activity is all going to be part of the master plan budget. So we want to make sure we have enough to push that forward. It's called promotional activities here, but unfortunately that has to be cleaned up because we're no longer allowed to do promotional activities as CRA. So that's just a quick budget line cleanup I'll do in next year's fiscal FY27 budget. So we can combine these two into professional services and remove that budget line. Because I also want to remove out of date budget lines that don't necessarily belong on our budget anymore. The pre-development grants, that's a grant program that's just about to be approved. These funds are already pre-allocated across all the CRAs. And this is a 3-year bucket of 1.5 million, so I've left it untouched. This is supposed to be for the next 3 fiscal years. for commercial exterior and commercial interior grants, we have a lot of money in these two grant buckets, and as we haven't really moved as many grants as we possibly could. So what I've done is I repurposed some of that money, and I've left a budget of 600,000 for each level of grant, interior and exterior. And the way I thought about it, at $75,000 per grant, that equals 6 grants in each category. So we can hope that we can push forward 6 grants from each interior and exterior. And then let's say we have 7 in exterior and only 5 in interior, we can, within that budget line, we can just repurpose the money to make sure that we have the funding to make sure everyone gets the funding they need. And special projects grants, right now, we're not doing those. And what's the Gator Building but a special project that we're interested in doing in our community? So I repurposed that money from that line and toward the Gator Building funding. I'm gonna go through all the reds first, and then we'll go to the greens, just to make it a cleaner review. In the unit creation and conversion program, which is our housing program, we have $4 million allocated, but it's not really telling us where is it going to. So what I've done is I've taken those $4 million and I've put them where they actually belong. So this is the amount of money that's going to Urban Reworks. This is the amount of money going to Ashley Integral, Clons Properties, and the CDC. Now, obviously, that's more than $4 million. So I had to take from strategic acquisitions, which we're not really focusing on that right now because we have over inventory of property in East Tampa. So let's take that money and repurpose it towards building these units. So that's why we added to this to make to ensure that we have funding for all of our approvals for this year. So those are the reds there. Transportation equipment is just a line item that's sitting there, so I cleaned it out. Land assemblage, again, we're not looking to assemble any more lands for now. So what I did with that, also repurpose that towards the Gator project. I did leave $310,000 in there, you'll see, because we still have to finish paying for the recent acquisition for the Palafox property that we all approved 2 months ago, I think. So I've left that in there, and that's to cover that Palafox purchase, and nothing in excess. Neighborhood infrastructure improvements, that was just a budget line where we put money where we hope we will apply towards improvement on neighborhood infrastructure and improvements. But it's not allocated for a particular project. So I moved to move it towards a particular project, which is the Gator Building, which is why I took the funding from that line. Street resurfacing, this is, I guess, leftover money from a previous project. So I cleaned that budget line out. East Tampa Public Art, there was an approved $600,000 in the budget, which was supposed to be for 2 roundabouts. As we all know, only 1 roundabout is able to get the art project installed. So I've left $300,000 for the existing art project, which is going to be, which is underway now. And I removed, took the other $300,000, again, applied to the Gator Building. East Tampa Gateway to East Tampa, that's the rest of the wayfinding signs, so I've left that untouched. The East Tampa Continuous Improvement Projects, again, that's not an actual project, it was just there for continuing projects in our district. So again, I took the liberty of moving that into the Gator Building, which is our continuing project. I left a small amount of money, $517,000, because there are some initiatives I'd like to institute this year towards beautification. And I plan to bring that to the CAC for discussion in May or June. But it's just an idea I have. I want to flesh it out with the CAC to have an in-depth discussion about what we can do with that amount of money this year to start a quick project with visible results and quick results. So I've left that amount of money in there for that purpose. The public art project, as we know, we're not allowed to do mural projects anymore. So I removed that for now. It's not to say we're not going to do public art in the future, but we just have to find a way to continue moving forward creative projects. In some fashion that we can still bring art to the community, but make it part of infrastructure at the same time. So the Gator Building, this is where you'll see the majority of the funds that I've reallocated have gone, most of them to the Gator Building. I've allocated $10 million, $10,026,043 for the Gator Building. So we went from $1 million to to now $11,086,043, which is a significant start for this Gator project to actually move forward. As you all know, you all approved me to move forward the RFQ for the master developer for the Gator Building project. That's going before the board in May for the CRA board to approve, and then we can issue the RFQ for the master developer project. And then we'll have money there to actually do the building and the construction as we get started with once the project moves
That'll
forward.
keep us,
I'm sorry.
that'll keep us going.
Yeah, let's keep it going. It's a start, and it's only a start, because we're gonna need more. That's
Absolutely.
really bringing something meaningful and
Absolutely.
transformational.
But you want us to have more than enough, so.
Right, we want enough so we can make the move and start, so we can show that we're actually doing
Let
something.
me finish and we start asking questions.
Um,
Comments. Don't.
The Parks project, I didn't do anything with that.
She needs to be quiet.
The North
Go ahead
20.
and finish, sir.
This tape. Thank you, ma'am.
The pond beautification for North 22nd Street, I've left that funded as it was. The delay on that was we weren't able to move forward because we didn't have a way to pay for ongoing maintenance once the project gets started. We're working on a way with our attorney to be able to fund for 5 years ongoing maintenance of the pond once the work is done. And then we're gonna enter a memorandum of understanding with the city for ongoing maintenance after the 5-year period that we fund. For the Sanchez Higher project, we did a 3-year allocation for 1.666 million. So I see this money sitting here, 3.6 million, just sitting there idle. I rather invest it now and just take out what we need for this year to make that agreement. So I've left the 1.666 million, which is year one of the 3-year payments, and reallocated that again to.
I'm sorry, and I do respect Ms. Tate, but I do remember when it came to the request from the Sanchez E. Haya building, it was 5 million. It was still to be broken up over 3 years.
Right.
So that category should have never been 3.6 million for one fiscal year.
I kind of agree, and I was there when I got here, and that's why I'm trying to repurpose it now.
I don't know who did that. We didn't approve that.
Okay.
We didn't approve that.
Well, that's why I try to align it with what.
I'm glad you called. I just want to make that publicly on the record. It's a 3-year, $5 million, and that 3.6 for 1 million. Because if we would not have caught that, somebody could have put in 3.6 million, not saying that that would have happened the next fiscal year, thinking that it had not been funded. So thank you for catching it.
Thank you, gentlemen. Let's press.
Thank you.
And then resurfacing, like another budget item I just cleaned out. Environmental detective and capital machinery equipment. I left capital machinery and equipment because our East Tampa detective's vehicle that we do have to pay for, it has to be updated soon. So I've left that money there for next year so we can apply to purchasing a new vehicle for our East Tampa detective. Fuel, uniforms, I'm not gonna touch that. We don't need that much in tools and minor equipment under community policing, so I did take a little bit of that, left a nice comfortable budget. And the only other change I made, because we're leaving Memorial Park as is, because we have those allocated and those projects are moving forward. I just took a little bit out of the streetlight operating expense, because we do pay for some streetlights that were installed a few years ago on 22nd, I'm thinking. So I left a budget there so we can continue maintaining it. And I want to look deeper into the daily and the monthly and annual bills. And if I see that that's too much for what we actually realistically pay monthly, I'll be willing to come back and take more from that and apply it somewhere else. So we're not just sitting on money that doesn't need to be sitting there. If it can be applied to another project that we can move forward. So those are where I took the money from, and most of it is reallocated to the Gator building. We did also add $510,000 to down payment assistance, giving a total budget of $2 million for that. And as Dr. Johnson said earlier, we have $5 million in the housing rehab and renovation program. So make it this is the change I will be showing to the board. This is how we do the program change. So it's basically transferring from, so every line item that was transferred out, and at the bottom it's transfer to. So it's 10 million collected from the different budget lines and going into the Gator building project. The other change is, and I caught a mistake here and I have to fix it. Because it's not the final document. Requesting from transferring funds from unit creation and conversion, transfer from into the down payment assistance. And we're taking from unit creation conversion because we funded more into it from another budget line, and to make it cleaner. It's gonna be easier for finance the program in this way. But it's just moving money from, in the same housing, from unit creation into down payment, so we can, because we put more money into unit creation from land assemblage. We took 2,125,000 from land assemblage and put it into unit creation conversion. This is for the Ashley East land acquisition. I'm not sure if everyone remembers, I learned about it myself recently. Not only did we approve to pay over 3 years funds for Ashley East development from the unit creation conversion fund, we also made a commitment to for land acquisition of 2.1 million, 2.125 million. I don't know in which.
I recall 9.7 million.
Yeah, that's including the 9.7 million.
That's including that wasn't broken down for land acquisition. From my understanding, land acquisition was given by the city of Tampa for them to do the development on that property. So something is being snuck in there that I don't recall being a part of our conversation.
If you see the
Ashley,
if you see, we have Ashley East here, 7.5.
Only reason why I'm
asking, I know.
Go back, because a few of us have been on the board for a few years. I just don't recall, even though that came up last fiscal year, I just don't recall that being broken down. Yes, we approved the 9.7 million, but there was nothing outlined as 9.7. From my understanding, all of it was for the purpose of construction.
Yes,
correct. I've broken it out here. This is a 9.7. So 7.57 for the project, and then the into land acquisition.
If will, and
that's still the 9 point that you all agree.
I can't, I'll pass over to the vice chair, but I would like to make a motion that we will research this.
yes.
We agreed to $9.7 million.
If I may.
Yes.
I do recall, okay, so there was city council approved a land assemblage.
They switched.
CRA approved funding for that. That is my recollection, but I will be more than happy to go back in the video footage to pull that.
Sure.
But I do recall two different, one part was land that had to be approved by city council, and the second piece was this partnership.
And the land.
That's what happens when, we find out we're really just a recommending board, because they would take some, I just know a part of the presentation had nothing to do with acquisition. It was all construction costs. And so by the time it got to city council,
I agree, because I was very confused about it as well. And I was like, are they approving this today? But it was land, because
I just want to make sure we're on top of our dollars and things that they've done based on what they said. So
I had to do some research myself to figure this out. But total is $9.7 million.
Yes.
So
I'm familiar with 9.7, but from my understanding, based on the presentation, because they did the capital stack of how it was going to be from 30% AMI, 50% AMI, up to 80% AMI, that the 9.7 was for construction. So apparently CRA board, city and the city council, they went back and adjusted that 9.7 for land acquisition, which I don't understand. We're giving them money to purchase what the city said that they were giving to them. That's what I don't understand. Correct. The city was to give them that land. Why are we approving funds?
I'll be more than happy to go back and look at the footage, because I was very confused as well, because it was brought in front of city council.
Yes.
And it was the same gentleman who presented. I was like, why is he at city council presenting? But I'll be more than happy to look, because it was last year, to pull that and send it to him.
Please. We don't need to take a motion on that, but we do have in notes that Member Martinez will do some due diligence. And first of all, thank you for that.
Thank you.
Because you don't have to do that. Thank you for going back to do that research. I just think the community deserves to know from a fiduciary standpoint how that is broken down. We agreed to 9.7 construction costs because the city was giving this land to the organization to build. All right. For the sake of time, we've had a chance to go across the budget. We had the budget before tonight. Are there any specific conversations that we need to have, questions to ask Mr. Nunez before we take a vote? Chair recognizes Ms. Tate.
I disagree with taking 300,000 from the 34th Street Public Art and leaving
wayfinding with all of their funds.
I think based on what he just said, that is no longer approved by the CRA. That's why.
Can't.
That's all across, not just East Tampa. That's all 8 CRAs. They removed that line item.
And that
From
was,
all
that funding,
public art.
that funding was for 2 roundabouts, and you're not able to do the other roundabout. Only one of the roundabouts was able to get the public art installation. And so that's gonna be about $300,000. So. that's why
We
I-
know that we've already interviewed the sculptors. We've already interviewed them.
No, there's an interview, there's a process in 2 weeks from now, here in East Hannah, yeah.
Exactly.
That's when you're gonna be interviewing other artists.
Exactly. So if we can, if they all budget over 300,000, we'll be able to pull more funding.
Well, they were given a RFP, and there's and the amount was not to exceed
300.
Yeah. So.
So we have to take advantage of that this year because next year that may not even be in the budget.
I understand.
Yeah.
I understand.
There's other, and there are, trust me, art is important to me as well as, and I would like to keep art in the community somehow. So I'm trying to come up with creative ways to come to you all with creative ways, how we can keep doing art through different ways, while still keeping it under the CRA guidelines and proper.
Okay, let's go around. Now, Ms. White.
Nothing.
Ms. Winters.
Felix, thank you for laying this out very clearly. It's easy to see what you're taking from, where you're allocating it to. I think you had a goal of pushing money towards the Gator building, but essentially you also showed us that we have buckets of money that are just parked without a purpose, while other things in our neighborhood are going unnoticed, unfunded, and undone. So with some of these, it caught my attention when you wiped out the promotional activities to 0. You said we can't do promotional activities anymore. What did that mean?
The CRA in general are not allowed to do marketing or promotional activities like they used to be able to, and the budget line needs to reflect that. So I'm not wiping it out. I'm combining it with the other line item above it. And when we do the next budget in 2 weeks, the budget workshop, in order to, that's gonna go towards the master plan that we talked about a few months ago for the RFP for the corridors. So that those funds are gonna be allocated towards those studies and of that master plan.
Under the commercial grants, exterior and interior. Earlier, we had a small conversation about that, and it was mentioned that a lot of the business owners are having issues getting approved because they don't own the property. Is there another big issue with why people are not getting access to these funds who are applying?
My understanding, that was one of the issues. I would have to get the grants team to speak on that more, because they want to meet with them, with customers, with the community regularly. These projects, they administer the projects, and they'd be able to give you a better real world assessment as to what it is that's causing the challenges. Some of the challenges are, I think I know this is a matching grant. So if the applicant doesn't have the matching funds to move forward with the grant, they won't be able to qualify for it. And that's a requirement that's been put in place.
And yeah, we need to look at that, because if you put a lien on it for 5 years and have to have matching funds, you may need to reevaluate that going forward. You don't need to have both. I gotta put up half the money and a lien is placed against the property. So,
Right, so can we revisit the requirements so that more businesses in our communities can get access to these funds that are just sitting?
That's happening at the CRA level, at the board level. So we just had a workshop here March 9th or March 6th, I think it was, about the grant programs. And they've been, I would recommend that you all reach out to your CRA board with any concerns you may have about the grants as they're moving forward, the grant programs as they move forward, because we, at my level, I don't have the capacity or the authority, neither do the CCs individually, to make change on that.
but I would tell you what we do have the power
Yes,
for
sir.
next year, making sure that those 2 line items are funded. And then we can talk to the CRA board about what they would do going forward about that program, and making the necessary suggestions Because it may be more barriers in our area where businesses don't own those properties compared to other areas. So we may need something unique to East Tampa. For those of you who are new, all of these programs used to be germane to the area. Now it's all across the CRA. So the grants that we used to be just in East Tampa. We didn't have to worry about anything. Now it's a blanket to what they're doing everywhere. And that's, while I understand it, but every CAC or CRA is different based on its makeup. So there are some things that need to be just identified for that area instead of just saying we're going to apply the rules all over. Right. So this is why I wish our CRA board members came to more CAC meetings, because sometimes in the evening, those who come here can't go to CRA meetings to share these things and they can hear it. They make some decisions blanket based on what staff has told them they need to make. And I'm concerned that sometimes the reports that staff give to our CRA board members may not always reflect what the community is saying.
Exactly.
So, all right. Anything else?
No.
Okay. All right.
So no questions, but I got like 3 comments and I'll make it quick in the interest of time. So Felix, I commend you for increased transparency and decreased ambiguity in the budget.
I'm gonna stop you.
Yeah, I asked you for grace and you gave it to me.
You said 90 days. You're doing good.
Mr. Chair, I reclaim my time.
Yes, sir.
So going forward, right, I would have recommendations for future consideration. If we're going to ever adjust the budget, we need historical data. So let's look at our line items over the past 3 years and their performance, so we know exactly what we're changing from. So if we get X amount of dollars in this line item, how much did we actually spend in the past 3 years? So we know what we're departing from and the way we're going. Just looking in the rearview mirror. So going forward, okay? And the other thing is, when we're in a car, we have metrics, right? You can measure your speed, you can measure your fuel, you can measure revolutions per minute, all these things, but we don't measure our progress or our projects on all the different things that we require, right? So we know there are steps like acquisition, RFP, GCS collection, construction, certificate of occupancy. But we need maybe a snapshot of each project and where we are. So the rhetorical question is, with regard to the Gator building, how far along are we in new construction development? Are we at 1%? Have we reached any threshold or milestone? I don't expect that answer tonight.
I can be honest and give it to you right now.
We should be able to see that. And that's just one example. So I don't care about the answer.
Okay.
I care about having an answer for all of our projects. So at a snapshot, we can look at it and say, okay, well, we're progressing well, or maybe we need to give our attention to this project to make sure it's moving.
Well, we do provide the project tracker for all the projects. That's the measure that we have right now, where we're at with the projects. So that is, and then I try to do a little bit extra update in my manager's report a little bit further than what the project tracker is sharing. But if there's anything you'd all rather see or prefer or would require to see or would like to see,
I'll send you an email.
I could take a motion or you can all email us and we can look into updating the trackers.
Thank you, sir.
And a little bit on the lines of what my peer said, I do think it's important that we focus on projects and plans that are going to generate larger TIF, right? Because we get that money from property taxes. We don't get it from programs, we get it from property taxes. So, and that's going to bring the property value up, and that's just reality. That's how we make our money. I do think that it's important that we circle back, like these projects that we're approving, like the Ashley East and the Sanchez and Haya, how in our budget can we then highlight those and show that what they've contributed towards the TIF. I think that's really going to solidify why we approved that project and how what our return of investment was with the TIF dollars. Because in theory, with these projects, when they're completed, our TIF should be going up year over year over year.
A lot of units we're funding, yeah.
Yes, so I do kind of agree with what he's saying, that I like the breakdown, but we also need to show the output. What did we see from these particular projects? And so I would just advocate for that. But I know we're going to have our budget meeting on April 21st. So this is a good start conversation, and I would encourage everybody to bring those questions there. But I can also email you as well, my thoughts.
Yeah, it's all email anytime.
Did you mention JC Newman as well? Sanchez and Haya.
I have that on my, I'm gonna bring something about that.
So
I would just, I guess, two things. On things like the Ashley East, Sanchez Haya, all of those, we make a recommendation as the CAC, it goes to the CRA, and as we recalled with Ashley East, it doesn't always end up the way the recommendation is. If there's some sort of, and then it causes this backtracking, like, hey, we've got to divide this out this way for Ashley East. If there's some kind of reporting for especially the large projects, if they get changed and it needs to reflect in our budget, just a report back, this happened at the CRA, and this is going to have this financial impact on our budget. It's our fiduciary responsibility to be making sound recommendations. And the first question I had tonight when I walked in was, I don't remember the land acquisition. And knowing that I can't be at every CRA meeting, but having that report back would just help us, I think, kind of do our due diligence every month and make sure that we don't have buckets of money that are just sitting there in this holding pattern and not getting used where they could be used. Because this illustrates a lot of money that isn't being as effective as it should be for our community. The other thing is we've allocated a good amount of money to special projects, from urban reworks to Ashley East to JC Newman's Sanchez Haya. I think all of those had dollar figures that were large enough to carry with it a requirement for a CBA, a community benefits agreement. I would love to hear if that's in the works for some of these things. I'd love to hear what those community benefits are as a report back, especially if we're giving tip dollars. We should understand what those community benefits agreements look like. They have to get reported back to the community somehow. And then one last minor thing, we have the tracker for the projects that are CAC driven, but then there's this tracker, which is for the grant.
That's the grant.
A lot of these projects, not a lot, but there's several on here that have sat here and they say they're on track, but they've been on track for about a year to 18 months. Understanding if they've had any draws, any allocations of funding would help us, I think, understand if this grant program is really successful, if people are actually utilizing and being able to tap the dollars here, because some of these have set on track for so long. I'm just questioning
2025.
Yeah, I'm just questioning whether or not they're having issues and where the issue is, because if we don't know what the issues are, we can't solve the problem and we can't use those dollars effectively.
Agreed.
So,
Is there?
Hold on, let's go online and then we'll redirect back and then call for a vote. Any of our board members online have comments about this new proposed reprogramming?
I do have a question or a concern. Is there any way, like the extra money that we have available, if they can repurpose that towards like the tree grants? I'm sure there's more residents in the community could use the tree trimming grant.
That program is no longer active, and that's not even a budget line. So I can only reprogram it to existing projects. Next month or in 2 weeks, we're doing the FY27 budget for the new fiscal year. We can introduce a request for potential new programs or revisit the older programs that we'd like to see back. That would be the opportunity for us to move forward.
So you're saying for 2027, you can put that request in?
You as the CAC can make that request, and it would have to get approved by the board, but that's where we would make the request and add to that budget line to be added in for the fiscal year coming.
Okay.
If there are no other comments online, redirect was Ms. Martinez and Ms. Tate.
Really quick, so for the Sanchez and Haya, where there's supposed to be a community benefit agreement committee. And I know that there are two community members who applied for that last year in the fall, and they're waiting for their application to be approved. So it's a community benefit agreement, right? Whenever there's a big project, they have a committee that has input into that. Those committee members have had nothing from the city. And my understanding is they're waiting for the mayor to approve that. So I have concerns about that because if the CRA is funding that, then we should have a say on who's going to sit on that CBA, that Community Benefit Agreement Committee. My understanding, they have to live within a half mile within the project, which makes sense, but that should have already been set.
Would that fall under Janelle?
No, I think that would be a procurement thing because, yeah.
I don't think that's procurement. I don't think that's procurement. Because it deals with. Okay, yeah. I'm glad you brought that up. I wasn't even aware of that, and that is good, because if you don't deal with that now, as many projects are coming up over a certain threshold, they need to go ahead and make sure that that is identified, and even have applicants ready, because they're really in the same radius, in a 2-mile radius for them to be a part of that. All right, Miss, is there anything else?
Yeah.
Miss Tate.
I just had a question. This is real probably petty, whatever.
I'm glad you identified it.
I heard you say, Manager Nunes, that we're not allowed to have murals. What murals are you referring to, sir?
Murals. We're not allowed to put
Are you
murals up on
referring to
walls.
streets or are you referring to buildings?
Either. Right now, we're not allowed to move forward with putting up just basic painting a wall as mural as art.
Where is that written?
I can have the attorney.
I understand the streets because that was coming down from the governor. I can understand it. But what does that have to do with the wall?
It's a CRA. It's a CRA restriction. And our attorney has reviewed it and given us guidance that we're not allowed to any longer do murals based on CRA statute. And I can have the attorney.
Yes, sir. Because the thing about art is it creates a sense of
Beautification.
health. It creates a sense of identity. It creates a sense of belonging. It creates a sense of feeling. You wake up in the morning, you see this beautiful building painted on the outside with something you can identify within yourself or within your community, or you can identify your environment. It makes you feel somewhat healthy or somewhat happy. You see something you wake up and you're driving down the street and you see something on a building that you can identify with. There's nothing wrong with that.
No, there's nothing wrong with it, but it's just a CRA statute is unfortunately guidance.
Print that or email it to me.
I can have the attorney write an opinion based on the CRA statute.
I think yes.
Sarah recognizes Ms. Smith.
Meeting that we had when
Send it to me, please.
this on 34th Street, was it the new project?
Yeah.
I had asked that they install art. I think we need to put this on the developers, because if we're gonna approve a building, then you pay for it. You're in your building. So that's why should we have to pay for it?
Right.
So that's where I think that we can be creative. Like
I like that. Yeah. Yeah. Put some onus back on that. Yeah.
There's other creative ways we can do art.
We can't have some form of art.
So let's read the opinion of the attorney first, and then we'll learn how what we can do to object to that. Yeah. All right. Miss White, yes.
That's the only way I see I can get.
No, I saw you did.
Everybody on this side of me is leaning forward.
I see.
Yes, I can't hear it. But I'll make this quick. I just want to answer this question. I noticed that when we have the March Art Festival here, that the CDC had artwork done on the side of their building, but they used a Gasparilla art person to paint that building. I know it has nothing to do with CDC, but if we can't do it on the street, why are we painting it on the building for somebody else, not a business owner, but somebody that the city is utilizing for their artwork to paint somebody else's building?
Well, the city is still doing art. It's just the CRA is not allowed to fund that kind of artwork. I'm not understanding.
Okay. I mean, this whole thing about we can't do art is.
We can't do murals and we can do functional art.
For CRA, only one person can go. Where are all these rules?
I'm gonna tell you guys my opinion. This is just my opinion. The CRA attorney comes back with his thoughts and his opinions. I think we have to research and those things that we feel strongly about, push back against those opinions. Because those are opinions. And
So they can be changed.
They can be changed. I just don't believe that he gives the law. That's just his interpretation. But I can tell you can read one thing and interpret it 3 or 4 different ways. But that's also when you have a staff that pushes back against the attorney, say yes, but it also says this. So us as CAC members, we have to be aware of what 163 says in those areas to be able to push back to say, hey, no, I see that totally different. So
it would be good when you opinion or when it goes before city council or when it affects us, that information is attached to that.
Yeah, a memo.
Whenever we're reading or researching, just like when you go to court, that information should be attached to documentation right there. It is referred to by the statute. As the statute does change for the state of Florida, but just like you made a suggestion that be provided for us, and we get that type of detailed information when something that we have voted on or suggested or recommended be included in the.
Agree. It seems as if we may not get out of here right at 8 o'clock. So we're going to wrap this up. There is a 2-week ceasefire that has been agreed to by Iran and the White House. So that spares us from hearing about fury at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So thought I would share that. Is there a motion on the floor to accept the budget reprogramming for FY26? It's been so moved and second by Ms. Headland and second by Colonel Carrington. All in favor by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Let's do a roll call because I didn't hear everybody say something. All right, Ms. Headland?
Aye.
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 Ms. Tate? You opposed the reprogramming? Now that's being petty, but you're entitled to it. I know, dear. Yeah. Okay. Could you vote, please? Oh, you was being serious. Yes. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. All right. Online. Ms. Quarles.
Oh, man. I'm gonna vote opposed.
Okay. Mr. DeLiosa. All right. Ayes have it. Ms. Tate, your objections are noticed. Ms. Gaines. I'm sorry.
Aye.
Okay, thank you. I just want to go on record, Ms. Tate, your objections are noted, and hopefully you get the answers that you are looking for that. All right. Mr. Nunez, how much time do you need for your report? The East Tampa tracker, trust me, it hasn't moved. It hasn't changed. The commercial branch tracker, we've talked about it earlier. The housing tracker, you can give an update to that. The budget is in our packet. We know our budget is at $42 million. When the new TIF funds have been adjusted, I'm assuming maybe add $3 million or so for FY27. Just trying to help us before we get new business.
If you're already fine with the practice being self-explanatory, I'll just really quick. The CRP means pending final review and approval by the CRA board. Upon adoption, staff will return to the CAC to discuss potential future amendments, including consideration related to CRA consent. The master corridor redevelopment plan, the district-wide initiative you all recommended, is going in front of the board in May to authorize issuance of that RFP. And upon board approval, we'll coordinate with procurement and the CRA attorney's office to get that RFP out as soon as possible. Gator building, Staff will present a request to the CRA board in May to authorize the issuance of the master developer request for qualifications. This is gonna help us select the master developer, so we can push forward with moving that project forward. Upon their approval, I'll work with the procurement and CRA attorney again to finalize and release the RFQ as quick as possible. I already have both the RFP and the RFQ drafted, and I've already had people review it, so I'm waiting for the word, for the approval, and then push it to the attorney for a final review and get it out quickly as possible through procurement. Housing, Palafox 19th, the CRA board approved in March the acquisition of the final property you all recommended. And we're moving forward with closing activities on that. And the parcel is going to be incorporated into the upcoming RFP for Palafox. The 12th and Osborne Housing Development, the RFP is still in final preparation and is anticipated for release in April, later this month. We'll provide any update to the CAC once it's been formally issued. Special projects, housing, commercial grant programs. I provided the trackers for all of these and you've all reviewed them. If you have any questions ever about any of these, please feel free to reach out and I'll be glad to discuss them. Public realm and district identity wayfinding program. CRA board approved the wayfinding concept previously selected by the CAC. Once the board approves, the project will move into final design and fabrication. It's up tomorrow, to Thursday, sorry, at the CRA board for them to approve the final moving forward with the design plans. And whether we're gonna go with just a regular wayfinding sign of 17 additional signs that we needed to include, 50 additional banners that we wanted to include, or and the additional neighborhood signage. So those are the three options they're gonna select on Thursday, whether they're gonna move forward with all 87 signs, only 67, or just 17 wayfinding. And once I get that, I'll bring back to you a report with the board approved. 34th Street Roundabout at Lake Avenue project, on Wednesday, April 22nd, here in Hammond City Center. The Arts Committee will be reviewing all the applicants and whittling it down to help finalize who the artist will be for this project. And staff will report back to you, and I'll have Ms. Kate also discuss it as a member of the Arts Committee that you all appointed. And then finance and government, budget planning, if it's approved, I think we all just did approve today, the item will be brought to the CRA board in May. The agenda's already written, and I mean, the memo's already written to the board, and this document's already ready for them to review. I had it already in case you all approved, so I'm glad we did, and it'll be in the May agenda. Normally, it'll have to wait, because if I was waiting for this tonight, but I was a little proactive. We're gonna have our budget workshop right here on April 21st to discuss the FY 27 budget development. It's publicly noticed. Notice should be out tonight or tomorrow. I don't know if it went out today or not, but it should be out tomorrow. And it's in accordance with sunshine law requirements. Public comment will be provided. And I think we should do public comment in the beginning and at the end of that workshop. Are you all in agreement with that?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, we give the public a chance to speak up front and then say whatever they'd like to say after the budget is.
What can I do?
Budget recommendations are intended to align CAC priorities with staff implementation strategies to support future adoption of the CRA board. So I'm hoping we did that with this first reprogramming.
Any questions for Mr. Nunez about his report? All right, let's move to new business. I have a couple of things that I would like to share. Our monthly CRA meeting is on Thursday. If God allows me, I would like to share this in public comment. I think for so long, those outside of East Tampa area have pinned us against each other as if we don't agree with one another. And I think residents are very energetic and charged by seeing movement for the community and being able to identify where you're seeing movement in other areas and not seeing it here. And so sometimes I would listen to the comments from our elected officials about East Tampa that doesn't reflect what the people are saying. they're not angry and upset with each other. The residents in the area just want to see movement. So I definitely want to address that. I trust all of you as my fellow members. I will not be at our budget workshop on that 20th, whenever that Monday is. I'm just sharing I will have a medical procedure. So I'll be out for a few days, but I know all will be well. We do have a resignation from Ms. Frankie Jones. So that does leave an open seat on our committee. Did Ms. Jones represent a neighborhood
Bristol
association?
Heights Association.
All right. Are they going to nominate
We've
or?
already asked Janelle to look into that. She has a communication with the community neighborhood.
Also want to share, the CDC has a program called Youth Bill. It is funded by the Department of Labor for youth 16 to 24. It pays them as they learn construction skills, and they can also, don't quote me on this, they can help them, those who have dropped out of school, prepare for their GED. Those who have graduated, they're 18 and older, they're being paid as they're learning through construction trade. So that is a free program at CDC of Tampa. So they were talking about young people needing jobs. So that is a program. I don't have a flyer, but it came up today in conversation.
How about you email it to me tomorrow and I'll email it?
I'm off tomorrow.
Oh,
So I get
whenever you're back.
Yeah. I don't work on days off. I learned balance.
Oh, yes.
Right. So I want to share that. JC Newman, Sanchez Ihaya, and this is something good. Mimi brought this up earlier. There are a lot of people that have come before us and we haven't seen much besides Fair Oaks, right? JC Newman will open up that new building come November of this year. Right now, they're looking to hire over 45 full-time staff to work in that hotel and restaurant, and they would like to hire from East Tampa. They really want to start with East Tampa.
Be great.
40 or
That's
70.
the first.
So
40 or 70.
I kind of heard 72.
no, it could be 70, it could be 70, but they've already hired some people. They've already hired some people. So let's just start at 50. They have at least 50 full-time positions, and some of those positions were six-figure positions. So they're making they're paying persons right over there. So they're going to start that. They're going to have a job fair soon. So let folk know in East Tampa that they are hiring. It's going to be a hotel, it's going to be a restaurant, and it's going to be a lounge. Before people say anything about lounge and selling alcohol, they do the same thing at Applebee's and all that other stuff, right? So Applebee's is a lounge too because they do karaoke at every Applebee's. So no, I'm just saying, people have said that we don't want to lounge. People, listen, I'm good. I love the Lord and I like to go sit down and listen to live music. And there's nothing wrong with it. That's right. And it's promoting and you're hiring people, jobs. And so you can have nice, clean fun at these places. And so I don't have any objections to that. All right. The last thing that yes, sir.
Just a point of clarification, since you're on a roll. I don't think folks in East Tampa are infighting. When you're from here and you see the development and the investment in Seminole Heights and South Seminole Heights and Tampa Heights and Armature Works, it seems like everywhere around us, there's this wonderful development. It takes decades to get there. We haven't seen that yet. So
that was my question. That's what I was saying. They think it's infighting and it's not. And that's why I say some of the elected officials, they're articulating something that the community is not saying. They're just saying, we don't want to be left behind.
And I would even offer that. I don't think there's envy or jealousy to see this other adjacent development.
Yeah.
We just want our time.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's what I was saying. I would like to share at our CRA meeting on this Thursday. So those of you who are able to go and say that, because they think when they hear persons talk from East Tampa, oh, they're angry or they're this and that. No. It's just that the residents want to see what's right for this area. We're seeing development all around. Why is it not happening here? And I mentioned in my report last month that we want a champion for East Tampa, whether that's an elected official, whether that's through public and private partnership. We want somebody to be able to say, just like you had a Water Street or Armature Works, someone to say, we believe in here, East Tampa. East Tampa should be a place for strong businesses and residential services. Same thing. So
it's our economic engine.
I do support you making that public comment. I think one of the two things that maybe if you want to consider mentioning, quality of life is the major problem that we have. And code enforcement is not enforced equally across the city of Tampa. So that's number one. Number two, beautifying and maintaining the parks is not equal across the whole
Right.
city of Tampa. So it's not about just East Tampa, and it's not about that we're fighting with each other. It's that these city departments are not equitably enforcing across the board, because you'll have people who come from South Tampa complain that there's an ice cream shop that's gonna be there and they're gonna serve alcohol to 10 o'clock, and they're outraged by that, and they win that case. But here in this side of town, you'll have nuisance corner stores selling Lucy's and single beers and selling drugs in there, and it's like, no one cares. So I don't think it's really a CRA thing. I think it's a citywide thing. The code enforcement, now that we have a new director, now we're starting to see the change. And the parks and rec, where is our money? Because we're always waiting for Curtis Hickson to be developed, and those are in the other CRAs. But I know they attract tourism and money, but we've been waiting for a long time. So I think if you pin it down.
Are you able to attend on Thursday to discuss that?
Can't.
Oh,
I can send an email.
send it to me. Yep, what, send it to him and he'll send it to me. You can't email me
But I
directly.
can email them.
She'll email them.
Yeah. And I'll try to condense all of this in 3 minutes. And the last thing is that I would say, I'm going to turn this over to the vice chair because I want to make a motion because I want us to get some movement behind this. The building that is on 22nd Street that is in front of District 3, it is owned by a gentleman. The gentleman owns Cohatch as well, that building down there. He entered into a development deal with the city for that area. I think if we talk to him with strategy of what we would like to do in that area, he may not want to sell it, but he may want to go into a co-development deal with the city for that beautification. I believe if we redevelop that 22nd Street, that opens up the corridor of development for East Tampa.
The gas station?
No, right in front of Belmont Heights before District 3, you have that building there. You have the Boost Mobile and it's like the whole little plaza, right? So Mr. McCray has said he doesn't want to sell. I would like to talk to the man myself.
22nd and what?
Talk to the person in Queens, please.
So
That plaza.
I think we need to start having some new conversations
Yes.
and show people what our vision is. And I think they'll be interested in being a part of that. So I would like to make a motion for Mr. Nunez to set up a meeting with the owner of that building for us to share with him what our plans are for East Tampa. And
The address, you know that?
I don't know the address, but it's right in front
I'll
of
give it to you.
your building.
The corner of 22nd and MLK.
Well, it's not right in front, but it's on 22nd Street.
I'm gonna give you the address. Hold on.
22nd.
I got
It's right there in front of the man house, that plaza on Ida. Said it won't talk. And it's a Spanish man, you want to do a park.
That's why I'm doing it.
It's Mr.
So I would like for you to set up a meeting with him so we can share with him our East Tampa plan to see if there's a way that we can partner together and then we can move from there. I'm making a motion that.
Hold on a sec. Point of order.
I'm making a motion asking that our CAC members will give me permission to meet with Mr. Nunez and the owner of that building to share with him the plans for East Tampa, to also talk about the development deal that he did with Coatch to see if there's a possibility for redevelopment of that area. So I'm asking my committee members to give me permission to meet with city staff to talk to him ourselves so I can come back and report to this committee about what the gentleman said.
Can you clarify what the building is?
She's getting, it's a plaza.
North 22nd Street.
Thank you.
Right now, it's a rundown grocery store that serve old and expired food.
Okay.
It's Boost Mobile.
Yes.
It's
Oh, the
three
Boost Mobile, I know.
It's
Yes.
the
Yes. That's the end of it.
Not
Yes.
District 3, Jeff.
Huh?
It's a whole block away from District 3.
Is it? It's not far. It's in walking distance.
No, yeah, it's right in the block after the game.
But you know, yes.
But you know-
But you know what I'm talking about.
Okay, thank you. That was what I was bringing me.
Okay.
I'd rather do it.
Yes, all right.
Let's do this.
Okay.
Oh,
So, Kurt, go ahead. Are we good?
made the motion.
I made the motion.
Okay, so
I know exactly where it is.
Dr. Johnson made the motion. Do we have
Yeah.
a second?
Second.
Mimi?
Mimi? Motion carried.
Roll call. My apologies. I'm sorry. I'm getting tired. We'll just go around real quick. Miss Hedlund?
Aye.
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 Abstain.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, I'm sorry.
Aye.
Online. Okay, sorry. Online?
Aye.
Yes.
Aye.
Okay. It's getting-
I think Carlos is one of our.
I think Carlos left. Already.
Okay, so then.
I think we're good. So motion carries.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
We'll go around. Any new business for you?
No, I think I'm good right now.
Okay, I have a couple of new business. I'll be very quickly. King and Queens. The house that's located on East Lake Avenue. At that time, Manager McCray, who's now Director McCray, spoke with that whoever is in there, and they were not willing, they were willing to sell, but at I think a large amount of money. I want to make a motion that our chair and our manager speak with the owner to sell that piece of property. Is there a second?
Hold on, tell me again, where is it located again?
The house is called King and Queens.
This is behind Lake.
It is behind the Gator Building.
Yes.
And it's located on East Lake.
We purchased some property back there.
You didn't purchase
We didn't
King
purchase
and
it.
Queens.
So we need to see how we can purchase that, then we'll have that whole.
You have it all.
Connect to the other properties?
Yes, yes, it
That goes
does.
directly
Yeah,
to-
yeah.
You know what I'm
You know what she's talking about?
I know what she's talking about, but we just shifted land assemblage money.
I can't hear you.
I'm just saying.
Maybe for
before we-
2027.
Yeah, before we have a conversation, first of all, you can't make someone sell something, but you can influence them. But number two, we just took out money out of our budget for land assemblage because we have land that we are sitting there on that we're trying to move. So I would say do we want to buy more property? Because we just moved the money out of our budget.
You just want us to have a conversation to
Yes.
find out what we need to do.
Yes.
To be, okay.
Now, I have a question before, it is attached to the rest of the property that we're buying for the Gator Building, or is it not?
It's behind.
No.
We've already
Not
purchased
attached.
those 2 lots behind the Gator Building.
Yes.
And Kings and Queens, I'm assuming they did not sell. So we'll need to find out who owns that, setting up a meeting with them to see about that. And you know, things go slow anyways.
But-
It may not happen to FY 27.
And-
And if we need to repurpose some money, you know.
If it connects to the.
But
Gator
the
Building
Director
footprint,
Director
we can-
McCray knows all about it. He's already had a conversation with them. So just get.
But I'd like to hear from you all, not history. I want to hear what you want me to do. So you want me to talk to them now with Dr. Johnson and see what their interest is, if they're interested in selling it? Or maybe have further discussion?
Yes, that's correct.
Further
That's correct.
Got you.
And then also,
This is in addition to that motion?
Same motion?
Is it the same motion or?
separate.
Okay, then we need to vote.
Okay, vote on it.
Is
So do I
there?
need to restate it?
I have a question. What, do you have an idea of what the purchase of that property, what that would add, what's your idea around it?
Just have a conversation. Just have a conversation.
So if we.
I know, but is there any thought about once we have the conversation, what is the forethought around if we acquire the building? Is there a thought to what we would do with it?
Who's asking the question?
It won't
This
add
is
to.
Janine Quarles online.
It's not contiguous.
Not contiguous.
I think it's more or less just cleaning up that community. We have control of that area to kind of site control for what will be once that Gator Building get up. Because it is in close proximity. And so if we're able to control most of that area, we can kind of control the dynamic of what's going to happen in the next 3 years from that area. Especially if we talk about getting that other stuff down 22nd Street. That is definitely a part of a land assemblage. So if we talk as a CAC committee that we're aggressive to move for that 22nd Street corridor for FY 27, then we'll know to put more money in land assemblage for next fiscal year to get that stuff if we can.
And I'm just gonna throw this out there. There are people, if they start hearing that we're getting ready, we're gonna want to potentially buy something, right? So we have to be mindful of that as well. And I do agree that we can start planting some seeds, but that should probably be something that behind the scenes
Yes,
you
I
with
agree.
them. Because once we start advertising,
Yep.
it's a wrap.
Price goes up.
Just long as.
Exactly, just
So
saying.
the CAC committee has given us permission to have these aggressive conversations. And then we come back and we may not have to verbalize what happened, but we can distribute a memo to CAC members about our conversations. Yeah, yeah. So it won't be, because these meetings are recorded. And then I'm not sure how we do that. It's not like we're disclosing anything, but these are just memos, internal memos. And you don't have to display internal memos to just committee members. All right, so we still have a motion on the floor. We're doing discussion. Colonel.
So my initial question that you just answered was, is there a motion on the floor? The second one is, does it require a motion for you to engage in discussion with the property owner?
I think
voting for exactly.
Yeah, I think so, because that really should be a city conversation. And that would be for me to come back and make a report to the committee, like we're doing with the property on 22nd Street. This is what happened. This is what the owner is saying. So we could put that in the memo about what we can look to plan towards.
So we're not talking about committing any resources or assets.
No, just conversation. All right. So the motion is made by Ms. Tate. Is there a second? Is second by Ms. DaCosta. All in favor by saying aye? Aye. Oppose? Right. Okay. Any other new business from our committee members? Online?
McKay had a second motion.
Okay. I'm so sorry. We may have to retract that vote. Online, are you opposed or affirmative?
Affirmative.
Abstain.
So you can only abstain if you have a conflict of interest of ownership for these properties. I just want Robert Rules of Order. We can't just
Okay.
abstain. You have to declare what your conflict of interest
You
is.
let Ms. White abstain previously.
I just thought about that. Yeah.
Well, she, right there.
So just going forward, we'll give grace tonight, but going forward, if we abstain, we have
Okay,
to
well
be.
then I can decline. I'll oppose. I oppose.
Okay, that's fine. And going forward, we have to share that information. So, all right.
For
Other,
the sake of equity, I think that we should record that she abstained because Ms. White abstained, just to be fair.
yes, she can abstain. Yes. That's why I say going
That was her
forward.
Initial vote.
Yes, going forward. Yeah, so he has that. Okay, correct. Yes, sir. Your second,
Neighborhood Association President Joy Dew.
Smith got elected.
I'm sorry, what happened?
Pardon me, excuse me, go ahead.
go ahead.
Neighborhood Association President Joy Dew was on the list for a seat on the board. She is the president of Live Oak Square. The homeowners are not within a 9.7 mile square radius of the boundaries, but the businesses are. And she was to have a conversation with you. Did the conversation take place, sir?
An email was sent and then sent back.
Sir?
An email was sent to me and I responded.
Oh,
to it,
thank
and
you.
it's being discussed internally.
Is that it?
Yes.
Anything else?
Yes, we have to practice better efficiency. We typically do, but we didn't tonight. So Chair, I'll put that on you, please, sir.
Yes, I take onus of that.
Thank you.
I have nothing.
All right. All right, if there's nothing else, the way of announcements, next CRA board meeting is this Thursday at 9:00 a.m. Our East Tampa CAC budget workshop will be on April 21st at 5:30 p.m. And then our next CAC meeting will be May 5th at 6:00 p.m. It is.
Can I interject? I'm gonna change the budget workshop to 6 because I want to make sure everyone who has a chance to make it.
Okay. Thank you.
I'm gonna change that to 6.
The time is 8:14. We call this meeting adjourned.
To 6 o'clock versus 5:30.
That way everyone who has to work has time.
Yeah, 21st. It's here.
I'm gonna tell you now.
Yes, sir.
Talking.
Oh, wait, this one's off.
Okay.